Yo, what's up everyone, Casey here, aka the Traveling Introvert, back with an actual travel related video. So obviously during these times I can't do any traveling, even though I'm in New York City. There's really not much to do, which is why I've been doing a lot of reaction videos of music, mainly because lately all I've been doing is listening to music, and there's a lot of good music being released right now. But I thought, you know, this is a travel channel, why not do a reaction video to travel stories? So last year BuzzFeed released a video of people sharing their horrifying travel stories, and that's the video that I'll be reacting to today. And hopefully these stories don't discourage me from traveling in the future. Probably won't, because once the outside is open, then I'm taking off. Alright, so let's get into it.
It's embarrassing.
You're ready to
So I was with my then boyfriend and my best friend and her husband, and we traveled to Morocco together. Then my then boyfriend got sick. So he decided that he was just gonna chill in the room for the day and try and like get over this random bug that he had. Me and Christina, my best friend, and her husband Ben were like, okay, well we're just gonna like go out and go shopping. So the rooms at the Riad, you locked them with like an actual padlock from the outside. So that's like when you left for the day,
That's what I had to do in Puerto Rico. It was an Airbnb.
What you did, and then you could also
No, you lock the door, and then there's like the gate door, and you lock that with the padlock.
lock him from the inside. I think I thought I was like locking him in like to be safe, but like I didn't think about the fact that he wouldn't be able to get out. So I locked him in the room. And then me and Christina and Ben ended up like shopping for a lot longer than we initially planned. And then we got back to the Riad, and there's this beautiful pool, and it's hot out. So we're like, let's just put our feet in the pool and chill for a little. And Chris was locked in the room the entire time. And the worst part is he could hear us downstairs like laughing and talking, but we couldn't hear him. He didn't have food, he had run out of water, he was just like trapped in this room. But apparently he was like knocking on the door and like kind of trying to yell to get our attention, and we never heard a thing.
Alright, I would have had like a panic attack if I was trapped in a room like that. I was actually, funny story. So when I was working in Nebraska, I was in the IT room just pulling cable, right? And we had a team, they were in the front of the room. They were terminating cables, Cat 6, and they knew I was in the room. But I guess they forgot somehow, I don't know. So I'm in the back of the room waiting for my teammate to pass me the cable. And I guess he didn't know I was in the room. So he's calling on the radio. He was like, who has the keys to the IT room? And I'm like, I do. And in my mind, I'm like, why is he asking me? Like, the door is open. And I turned around, and everybody in the that was in the room with me was gone, and the door was shut. And I'm like trying to open the door, and it was locked. So with these doors, it's like I forgot what these locks are called, but you know the safe that, you know, you spin it. I forgot what they're called, but that was locked, and then they also locked it with the padlock as well, so it was like double secured. So I was basically R. Kelly style, trapped in a closet.
5 years ago, I was with my boyfriend. We were together for about 2 years, and his birthday was coming up. I had planned a weekend for us to go away in Canada. I remember I had gotten like a really great deal on a hotel, and I was like so excited because it was saving me a lot of money. So I get up to the hotel and I tell them my name, and I'm so excited, and they're like, we can't find a reservation. And I was like, well, that's weird. I was like, all right, maybe my last name has a space, so I was like, all right, maybe it's the space or whatever. So I give them my ID, still can't find the reservation. So I got pissed, and I started saying like, what are you talking about? Like, how can you not find the reservation? I'm showing them, you know, these are the dates. I booked it months ago. Like, they look at the email, they're like, yeah, you booked it, but that was for last weekend. I was like, oh no. So I basically had just taken hundreds of dollars and set them on fire. So I wound up paying full price for the right weekend, and I just booked it on my credit card before my boyfriend even found out. And so it wound up being like almost $1,000, and I don't think I ever even told him. I think I just made it seem like, yeah, we're good, everything's fine.
That's like I'm really paranoid when it comes to booking flights and booking hotels. So I try to do it simultaneously. So while I'm scrolling through and punching in the dates for the hotel, I'm also doing the same thing with my flights. So I go back and forth constantly, like 100 times before I go ahead and hit the book now and purchase the flight, because I'm way too paranoid that this exact thing will happen to me. What is my horrifying travel story? Alright, my horrifying travel story. Alright, let's get into this. Alright, so I was 20 years old. I was living in Mississippi at that time. Me and my friends, we wanted to spend a weekend in New Orleans. And this was like a week or two after Mardi Gras, so even though it's past Mardi Gras, people are still out in Bourbon Street partying and all that. But then again, I think that's a yearly thing. People go out to Bourbon Street and party because that's what Bourbon Street is all about. There's a lot of strip clubs in Bourbon Street, but it was 21 and up for most of them, if not all of them, because we couldn't find a spot. So let me rewind a little bit. The only one of us out of the group were 21. It's 20 years old, right? And we go to the hotel. My friend who's 21, he bought all the liquor, but everybody was scared to drink. Because at this point, we were in tech school. So we were not even a year in military. So everyone was like scared to drink because if you get caught, they'll tell you MTL. And if they tell you MTL, you know that's it routes to your furrier, you routes to your commander, and you're basically getting kicked out for underage drinking. So nobody wanted to risk it, but me, I used to love drinking. Before I joined the military, I used to go to my friend's house and get drunk all the time. That's a whole different story. So I was the only one drinking, and by the time we got to Bourbon Street, I was shit-faced. I was drunk. It was it was funny though, because we're walking down Bourbon Street, and if you've been there, you know that police there, they patrol with horses. So I see two horses, and I get excited because I love horses. They're very beautiful creatures, and I get excited, but I see it's the police, and I'm drunk, 20-year-old drunk. So what I do is I snap to attention, and if you're in the military, you know what I'm talking about. I snap to attention, and then I just started marching down Bourbon Street, thinking that it was perfectly normal. So everyone's like, "Chloe, what are you doing? Just act normal." And I'm like, I am acting normal, and I'm just marching down Bourbon Street. So we're trying to find a strip club to go to, and we kept getting denied because we're under the age of 21. We finally find a spot, and we go to like the corner. It's like we get our own little booth. You know, strippers come, they try to sweet talk you, you know, all that jazz. But it was my first time. And my buddy was like, "Yo, it's my girl's first time at strip club," because he had a stripper on his lap. He was like, "Yeah, it's her first time." And she turns to me, she was like, "Oh yeah, my friend is about to hit the stage." And she grabs me. Instead of going to the main stage, the bigger main stage, she takes me to this little ass side stage. And nobody's there. It was just me. Like, she placed me right there. And I'm just standing by myself like, what is happening? So her friend comes out on stage, and this stripper is a very big woman. And since I was the only one by the stage, she went directly, like, beeline towards me at that time. And even still, but at that time I had like numerous amounts of Yankee fitteds. Like, every time I go shopping for clothes, I had to buy a Yankee fitted that matched with my outfits. And I did not allow anyone to touch my fitted. Like, I don't know where your hands been, don't touch my Yankee fitted. So this stripper, I'm still drunk, right? She comes towards me, and I don't know what to do, because it's my first time at a strip club. So I'm just standing there like, what's about to happen? And she takes my fitted off my head, put it on herself. She takes my glasses off, stretches it out and puts it on. And then she like grabs my face and makes me motorboat her. And then she kisses me, and her pierced tongue is like down my throat. And I'm just there like, what is happening? And my friends, they did nothing. They were just throwing bills at her, singles, making it rain on the stage. And I'm just there with a pierced tongue in my mouth. So that was my most horrifying travel story. That was their most horrifying travel story, which does not top mine. Let me know in the comments down below your most horrifying travel story, or your funniest, or your weird travel story. I would like to hear that. Anyways guys, you be safe out there, and as always, peace and love.